Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, minions and creeps, welcome back to the Gold Advantage on the Bo3 Network. I am your host, as always, Nikita, and with me are Scoot and BMB. We are bringing you the latest news from MSI, all the action from the group stages.
We're in Korea.
We're in Korea, exactly.
We're on a 72nd ping.
Nobody really knows, so
nobody knows.
Well,
could be less, could be more. Who knows?
I am nervous that you started a little fast because on the countdown it was saying 1, and you were like, "And welcome back." So we'll see whether the ping was right on Riverside.
I think your ping's actually off.
So it cuts out. It goes like 6, 5, 4, and then I have no numbers left, and so I'm looking for the recording thing. I don't know. It's a real.
Put some fingers
issue.
up next time so you can.
I'm gonna write
catch
to Riot.
But
I would ask how you guys are, but you seem to be ready in fine form.
We're ready. We're fucking ready.
For those of you that are tuning in and are wondering why are we cracking jokes about ping, it's because basically because China is currently in quite a stringent lockdown situation due to COVID. RNG couldn't travel to Korea.
No cars were sold in Shanghai for the past month.
Dude, Shanghai's been under lockdown for they've
not
been
a single car.
That's actually
the Chinese government told them to prepare for 5 days, and they've been in lockdown for like 50.
Yeah.
Or some crazy number, which is like so dangerous for food supplies and stuff like that. Like, I don't even know.
As another aside, I read a really interesting thread that due to the previous issues that China has had in its history of famines and so on, they attach a lot of importance to an abundance of food, which I'm sure people are aware of.
Oh, yeah. This shit's
also
wild.
to fresh produce. And so their supply chain network for like frozen and long-lasting food is not super robust, and people tend not to stock long-lasting food at home like we would, like cans of beans and stuff like that.
You know what's super interesting? And again, this is not a world economics and produce podcast, although we might sound like experts. What I actually heard,
but we do produce results.
If we do. What I heard is that China, because of all their reliance on grains, such as rice, have more of like a reserve in food. So whereas like countries like the United States are overly reliant in kind of fresh food and stuff like that, we are basically, because of the war in Ukraine and Russia and all the supply chain stuff, like we are super fucked when it comes to like wheat and bread and all that stuff. Whereas China's like good to go for like way longer.
When they're good to go with rice.
Yeah.
So this is
one
real like, so they're fine with rice, but you can't live off of rice. So when we're
Right.
talking about the meats and fruits and vegetables, they don't have a lot of the canned long life stuff, which is the problem. Rice,
Counterpoint, we have oil.
Give
us your oil.
You do have oil. Anyway, getting back on track. So because of this, RNG couldn't travel to Korea, so Riot made the decision to make everyone play on a 35 ping, artificial 35 ping. They botched it. Everyone was like, this isn't 35 ping. Riot was like, it is. Everyone was like, no, it's not. Then Riot was like, oops, it's not. So then they had to, so then they said to RNG, like, you guys need to replay your matches. RNG agreed, and it didn't matter because they smashed 3-0 once again. So it had no impact on the final result.
It was only the second day of their matches.
Yeah. But I'm like, what happens if RNG just goes, no, fuck off, you screwed up, we don't need to? Why should we play more matches? Why should we? Because they also had very little notice. They basically, one of the coaches wrote about it. He's like, I went to sleep at 5 a.m., woke up at midday, came into the team room, and the team is like, oh, we now have to play 3 extra matches, which is, it's not a... for a competitive team, I think it can raise certain flags. So
let's highlight an interesting issue there, which is that one of their coaches during a serious international tournament is going to bed at 5 a.m. and waking up at noon.
I think that's good. I think there might be some time zone things coming into play there. Yeah, perhaps.
Who knows? Yeah. But that's. I mean, it's being played in Korea, so like
the boys partying hard. I don't know. Look, he just was like.
I think the interesting thing though is that they didn't have to replay the PSG versus Istanbul. They didn't have to play the Red Canis versus PSG. They didn't have to replay the.
So I think it's because
RNG games.
I'm not. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the matches were only affecting the matches against RNG or not. But either way, it's this kind of leads to, I think. I know I said we're talking about groups, but takeaways. But let's swap it to the format. viewership has been really down. Something came out. It's like down 40% compared to last year. I think this format is awful. Like this was a real struggle for me to care and watch about these matches, because outside of EG2, it's just been, I guess you have like Saigon Buffaloes have been entertaining.
My
but
team.
really we've been watching just a top region dumpster the other region, and it's like, I don't need to see Order go 0-8 or Wildcats go 1-5. It's just like there's no benefit to that. It's not fun to watch. It's not a scrappy like, hey, this is like, maybe there's the upset that's about to happen. It's just like, it's boring. It's just a complete one-sided.
One of the biggest issues for me is that this is supposed to be taken as a serious like mid-season tournament, where you can really decide what region's on top going into the second split as well as Worlds, right? And it gives you a good picture of all of that. But the issue on the back of that is that you only get to see the best team out of every region. And I feel like it needs to be, one, expanded, and have a better format as well. Because we're just watching, as you said, I mean, it's the T1 RNG G2 show right now. Like
I would much rather see like the Wildcats play against Order. DFM, like to have those regions play for a spot to play up. That's maybe the way to do it. It has been, but there's not really been a single upset. I would say, at least in terms of placements, like everyone I think we expected to get through has gotten through.
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. There's just I have nothing. It's really hard for me to take anything away from these group stages, barring that G2 is better than EG, and unfortunately EG is playing like NA.
Yeah,
that's
my perspective on this is, I think, probably similar to Carlos over at G2, which is to have an MSI without a China representative, like, would be, I think, a bit of a farce, and most people wouldn't even count it. They'd just be like, why even have it at this point? Because the reality is, any team who wins any major global tournament as it relates to League, you want to have Korea and China. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like a complete tournament, right? Yes. So not to have, like, I understand all the issues and a lot of the controversy around an artificial 35 millisecond ping. To me, I'm on Carlos's side of this. You're kind of making the best of a shitty situation, because China wasn't going to let him travel, Korea wasn't going to let him travel, so we figured out a solution. It's not ideal, but I don't know, like having to replay a couple matches.
That's fine. I care way more about the format. Like, that's the thing that actually is like, we had an opportunity to have the top 4 regions. I would rather have the top 4 or 5 regions auto qualify to the Rumble stage, but they have to play each other in like just constant show matches for like placement or something like that.
I think your point, right, is something we were trying to solve for in our last podcast,
a legacy group situation,
which was which team that isn't from Europe, NA, Korea, or China is going to do the best, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I picked that correct, which is the Saigon Buffalo.
You had the first pick.
Absolutely. BCS, yeah.
But I took that with my third pick, right? I took
I know.
I took my second
pick.
You went first, and then you also had the first pick for the third round, so you took the obvious choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't that obvious.
You also took T1, which is a huge cop out.
I think it's pretty obvious.
So look,
it's
to be fair,
obvious.
You, Nikki, took Istanbul Wildcats, who went up against my beloved Red Canids, and we know who did better. Scoot had the option to take Red Canids and took DFM, who also went 1-5. And so, like, I don't want to hear any shit from any of y'all.
Well, but we're not talking about those. We're talking about Saigon
options.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
You're trying to say, like, I'm a big brain for picking Saigon Buffalo. You're not a big brain for picking Saigon Buffalo.
I'm a big brain for taking Red Canids.
I'm now taking over your point here. I
RNG.
think VCS. So I kind of touched on this. I think Saigon Buffalo has been really exciting to watch, because they just are. I mean, they just don't give a shit. They're like, they're like, so. Spoiler alert: future bets, just take kills when Saigon Buffalo is playing, because they've been going mad. which is fun because they seem to recognize like, hey, we're an underdog, let's just go ham. And that was what we expected from EG. When we saw EG match up against Team Liquid, they had some really interesting drafts. Then they kind of tightened things up and won the region. And the problem I'm having now is I'm watching EG play, and okay, game 1 they lost to G2. We predicted that was good. We thought game 2 they would win.
Yep.
They were losing. G2 throws. EG has an opportunity to win, and they just don't seem to understand how to. And someone, I can't remember what I was reading or watching something, but they said that like a lot of issues with NA stem from when they're the underdog, they play like, well, we're the underdog, we can't win this. And they play from like a defensive position. And when they're not the underdog and they're given an opportunity, they play like headless fucking chickens.
You'd much rather be Saigon Buffalo.
And that's my point. Why is EG not playing like Saigon Buffalo? Because it's like, you have nothing to lose. Just go fucking ham. You're EG,
and you're playing
you're good enough.
I'll tell you why.
In G2. Like, you get to play this team fucking 3 times. Go after them. 4 times.
Yeah.
Right. Like, change something up. Come on, guys.
Just even so, every time they played G2, it was literally just cap stiff mid lane on Jojo. Like, especially right off the start. I mean, he set the tone early. Like,
I think Danny is also having a horrendous tournament. Danny is like playing really poorly.
But here's where this gets interesting. EG, notorious back against the wall performers, and they haven't really been in the face of elimination this entire time. Like, yeah, you can lose to G2 every time and you're still going to get through because you're in a 3-team group. I expect there to be a pickup in performance when it's a situation where you can get eliminated. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to cross that line by any means, but they are clutch. Like, they've proven that.
But we're going into the Rumble stage, and so, so we have T1.
Can we just one more time focus on the fact that I picked the team with the most wins of all the shitty teams in Red Cane?
Yes, well done. Very good.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
There you go.
It's all this, you know.
So teams,
we haven't figured out the way we're gonna score points yet. But just so it's clear, I have 12 wins. Nikki has 12 wins because of G2, and Scoot also has 12 wins or 11 wins. Yes. Sorry, so Scoot's in last.
The race is tight.
DFM. I mean, but RNG is looking up.
All right, Rumble stage. We have T1 RNG, G2 going perfect, 6-0, 6-0, 8-0. Then we have EG going 4-4. They got through. We have Saigon Buffaloes go 4-2, and PSG going 3-3. There is, in my opinion, no way, and I'm sure you guys agree, T1, RNG, G2 don't make it through to the next stage.
No, but there is like this issue of T1 has gone from playing such high levels of competition in Korea and dominating to now like just dominating shittier opponents. So is there going to be a like? Nah,
that'll be fine.
That's the only thing that worries me. And of course,
I'm sure they'll be fine.
You guys know where I've stood this entire season. Like, I'm not doubting T1 at all.
I cannot wait for EG to be the team that hands T1 their first loss of the year.
Well, they're not gonna. Well, T1 versus the field right now looks incredible, and T1 also not to lose a map looks incredible. So
I'm sorry, it doesn't look any better than it did before the season or before this tournament.
It 100% does.
No, it doesn't. We all know T1 was
better because they're
T1
undefeated.
looks phenomenal, and T1 continues to look phenomenal. So correct. It's non-news.
Exactly. Like there's no new information gained.
Breaking news: T1 best team in the world.
Yeah. You know, I'm actually slightly surprised that RNG went undefeated, but they handled it very well.
So no, but here's the real
undefeated when you're cheating.
So if we have BMB, you said it perfectly, I think.
Thank you.
Is EG going to take the match from T1? Someone is going to take a match from them.
You think
they're
so?
Not. You guys are like lost.
Someone is going to take a match off of one of these top 3 teams.
Oh,
EG,
sure.
RNG, T1. Someone like that.
It's Saigon Buffalo, though.
It's not going to. Yeah, and that's the problem. So if Saigon Buffalo, because they just go ham and they don't give a shit, and they're going to draft like some early game, it's probably against RNG, and RNG will be like, you want to fucking fight, buddy? And then they just, no defense, just like punch, and one of them gets
little
knocked
brother
out.
Situation.
Exactly. But basically,
I will say Saigon Buffalo has by far my favorite team name at this point. I might have to get Scotty always talks about getting T1 merch and is yet to actually make any sort of advances.
I'm working
Saigon
on
Buffalo.
sizing.
I think I might be on this.
Better than Boston Breach? I know you think that's the greatest logo and name of all time. So
It's a good logo. Unfortunately, I'm a New Yorker, so I can't
Also
rep
signed
anything
John
Boston.
Rahm. They signed John Rahm recently, Chris. I forgot to mention
All right.
that.
Finishing it up. If Saigon Buffaloes, this is what I meant by the meandering. Chris was like, "Oh, we gotta get through this
His
quickly."
little
And I was
brain
like,
just
"Hold
goes
Chris."
everywhere.
Just keeps interrupting to like get it. If the Saigon Buffaloes get the win against someone, EG
RNG.
has to match that win against someone. Otherwise, Saigon Buffaloes basically, I think, is as good as EG at this stage, if not better.
So I'll break
And
this
then
down.
that means EG doesn't make it to group stages,
And
which is
you know,
fucking appalling.
when I monologue, it means something, right? But because
go.
when I monologue, I'm right.
Are you monologuing?
I'm gonna monologue.
This is about T1 being good, though. I'm editing it out. Okay.
I mean,
Like, just so
I've been
you know.
saying T1's good since they were 6-0. Like I told you,
Sure.
they were gonna go perfect the entire year. I don't need to
Yes.
talk about this one anymore.
Okay, good.
Besides the fact that they're gonna go undefeated the rest of the way, and you're wrong about them losing a map.
I didn't say they would.
No, I know you
someone
said a
will.
top 3 team. I didn't realize that was your point originally, and I
Right.
apologize.
Okay.
Saigon Buffalo is going to beat RNG. But on the back of that, EG is going to best G2 at some point during this Rumble stage because they've seen them so many fucking times at this point. It almost doesn't make sense how they have
G2
it.
might throw them a pity win.
Yeah, they might
might.
just... Carlos might do it just for a tweet. And by the way, he also had a banner week. He made so much fun of FaZe Clan after the valuation bullshit. It was incredible. I'm not going to meander like Chris, but go back and look at those
I want to
tweets.
hear about all of the stuff that he...
It was splendid Twitter banter.
Was
But
it?
I will say this. I think it's going to come down to the head-to-head between EG and Saigon. I think they'll both actually pull off a win somewhere between G2 and RNG, between the two of them. So
But
it's
then
going to be
you
head-to-head.
see, if EG plays the way they have been playing, I put Saigon above them. So they really
yes.
have to kind of like stop playing afraid of everyone and just start like, going out. I think
they
Danny
need
needs
to-
to step up. But as a whole team, they need to really improve things.
They got on the LCS stage with their sack in their hand and just slapped people around. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know where that energy's gone. It's really disappointing to see it disappear. But I think them facing elimination will bring some of that back, hopefully. At least in this stage. Because like them playing Order it's literally a free win every time. I mean, Order got mollywopped in that group.
Yeah, but I have like a... If they don't, this is like then the second... This will be the second year that NA has flopped at an international event. And that's really...
Haven't we come to expect this from NA at this point?
No.
Yeah.
We always hope. Don't
All right.
don't
So who are you picking as the two teams not to make the knockout stage?
PSG EG at the moment.
You think?
I might like... If EG starts playing the way I had hoped they would play, I'll put them above. I think they are a better team than the two other teams on paper, but they're not playing like it. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good they are on paper because VCS is playing, Saigon Buffaloes are playing at just a much more aggressive level.
Is it true that the VCS's best team isn't there? That's
Yes,
correct.
this is
right?
also their second best.
Yeah, that's their second best team, which is honestly astounding.
Yeah.
My copium tells me EG is the fourth. Like we all know, the first three are going to be T1, RNG, G2. As an NA coper and of course a loyalist to the region, I have to say EG. I feel like it's just gonna, some of the magic's gonna come back and they're gonna bring it together. So that's where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I want to hear your opinion. I'm curious. You're gonna say PSG Talon.
I'm not gonna say PSG Talon.
Try to feed it to him.
I do think you're gonna get some. Call me crazy. I think you're gonna get a T1, a Saigon Buffalo, a G2, and an EG. I think you're losing.
You think RNG flops the group stage
Yeah.
or the Rumble?
I think the ping kind of fucks with people and they're taking off. I just think like you're gonna start to see some shit go down. I don't trust that group, and I also don't trust the G2 EG. Like, there's a world where I could see this be T1, Saigon, PNG, and RNG, and kind of leave both G2 and EG out of it, to be honest. Those are my two scenarios. I think you're going to see either... I think the surprise will be G2 or RNG. Well, one of those two teams is not going to make it.
Do you think G2 or RNG is not going to make it?
Yeah, I think that's going to be my... That is my pick. One of those two teams won't make it.
The other interesting
and
thing
those are two.
is,
And by the way, those are two teams. Like, that's not me saying like, oh, Saigon or PSG won't make it. Like, those are two teams that I think most people would have penciled in for the
G2
stage.
looks like legitimately internationally formidable right
G2's
now.
looking great, and they're not going to to make it.
Dude,
Again,
considering
they're playing G2,
considering where
they're playing EG in
mid-LEC
order.
split. Okay, but consider where they were mid-LEC split and how much they've developed to this point. They look unbelievable. I actually I don't know if I put them above RNG yet. I don't think they're there. They might be. I mean, we'll get the head-to-head soon, so we'll find out. But dude, they've carried that momentum from playoffs and carried it really well.
You have heard my prediction. One or both of these teams will not make the knockout stage.
Outrageous. Massive disagreement there.
That's insane.
Now, just it's so shocking. I got to move on. In the interest also of time, because BMB needs to go somewhere apparently. Now we have 7 people in our chat studio.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know who's watching.
We have people in our studio we don't know about.
They're very excited.
We still also, to add to whatever's going on, we don't have the schedule yet. So we have no idea. We do have some odds. We know it's a Rumble stage, so everyone is going to play everyone.
At least once, right? Or is everyone playing each other?
Yes, as far as I'm aware. Everyone is playing everyone else once.
So not twice, though.
I don't think so.
Also a bad format. If they're playing once.
I think there's a world... No, I think there actually is a world where everyone plays...
It could be twice, actually.
I think they play twice. They have to play twice.
Yeah, it probably is twice.
Yeah, I see Rumble Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 days of Rumble. With
problem
1,
is,
2,
yeah,
3,
we just
4,
don't
5,
have...
6 matches per day. I would envision you're going to get everyone playing each other like 3 times.
Okay.
Maybe even 4.
I wish, Riot would maybe release the...
That'd be great.
Schedule on their official website, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
something.
That's the first place it should be. Who knows?
You would think something somewhere. So we don't really... We have some odds. I don't know if they are the right ones. But we can
They're probably close. They're probably pretty close.
They're closest, yeah. So look, I think we'll jump through. This will give us the matchup, so we can kind of give our overall headline feedback depending on each matchup as we're looking at it. But first one we have Saigon Buffalo, EG. Saigon Buffalo's at 2.21, EG at 1.68. So with the current state of things, I think I would go Saigon Buffaloes. But like I said at the beginning, I actually have no idea how good these teams really are, because they got smashed by T1 and RNG and stuff like that, and then they struggle against G2. So
they haven't been
how are they
by RNG.
when they match up against an actual opponent that can compete that's of their level? I'm looking at these early matches to really see like how good is Saigon Buffalo, how good is PSG, how good is EG, how good is RNG. T1 we know, obviously incredible, and I think G2 is also I think they're firing at the right time.
Take any kill over under 27 and even at 27 for Saigon Buffalo EG. That's my
27.
27.
That's a lot.
That's a ton.
That's a ton. I don't disagree. Because Saigon
you're probably going to get like a
to,
25 and a half, 24 and a half situation.
I will say that I think Saigon Buffaloes against RNG could be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be a fucking kill box. Mid lane. What if they all 5 line up mid lane and they're just like, fuck it. Fuck the objective. We're going to go. Like, this is a team fight.
They just try and go straight for the...
Just back and forth.
Straight. A rundown. Everyone's running down mid. That would be incredible.
Hex gates.
Funny enough,
straight
you
to
know
the
which
Nexus.
team they have the most kills in a single game? You have Saigon Buffaloes versus DFM, 16 kills for Steel. Then you have 15 kills for Aegis, Red Canids versus IW, Wildcats. 13 kills for Gala, Red Canids versus RNG. 10 kills for Xiaohu, RNG versus Red Canids. and then Wei 10 kills RNG versus Red Canids. So basically, anytime if RNG and Red Canids match up, that's the other one that like, apparently Red Canids are actually the ones that are
very, very
smashing.
terrible at defense.
Best
What I will
defense
say
is
is I love taking the Saigon Buffalo in every match outside of G2. Well, actually, I was going to say outside of T1, but I kind of love their odds here. So Saigon Buffalo 2.21 against EG, love that. Saigon Buffalo 4.27 against G2, love that. Saigon Buffalo 1.98 against PSG Talon, love that. I really love that. Saigon Buffalo against RNG 11.19.
Yeah.
Throw a little taste for sure.
Just a bit.
And then Saigon Buffalo versus T1 at 22.47. Like, yes. You just have to sprinkle for it to be the...
I'll take my 0.018.
No.
I mean, they've been proven to have trouble with T1. Let's be clear. Everyone is.
I wonder what would happen if you parlay every single match. What odds would you get?
Every T1 match?
Yeah.
Under 2, probably.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you.
Presumably.
I'll tell you.
It's got to be something crazy. I mean, none of their odds are like...
All right, if you parlay all 5...
By the way, sorry, just quickly, Saigon Buffalo 2.10. Saigon Buffalo DFM, 62 kills. All right, that was that
Saigon
match.
Buffalo
Saigon
DFM,
Buffalo
62?
A's, it was like 31. Saigon Buffalo's A's, 27. DFM Saigon Buffalo was like 34.
So 27 seems like a fair number.
Yeah, so they're killing you and your entire family.
Even
and your
T1
extended
Saigon Buffalo was 34. So 27 is a reasonable number. Just
if you took if you took T1 to win every game on the first day against all 5 teams, 2.10.
Whew, 2.1. I actually, you know what? I would probably take that. I think that's actually not bad.
T1 is just different.
I would take that.
Like the way
That's
they
like
move around the map.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even need to communicate. They just know where the rest of the team. Like they know what the plan is ahead of time. They know where they're going, who they're gonna kill, when they're gonna kill them, and then it's just move on. Let's get this done. They also don't give a fuck about Dragon for some reason.
Nikki, you you're someone who's got a deep history in watching League, a rich history. Some would say, is this the best League team of all time?
T1.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to win Worlds for that to be the case.
Yeah, they have to get the Worlds. So we've had teams.
But is this the most commanding performance?
No,
they haven't lost
T1
a single match.
T1 has done perfect seasons before.
Oh, they have.
Yeah, SKT
SKT
White,
when they were SKT1. Yeah, there was 2017, I think. They were.
Did they not? Did they lose that final? When they went perfect,
actually.
Yeah, they went perfect and then lost the final, which is like the craziest possible thing to happen.
And I think he won everything. I think he won like spring. I think he won World, Spring, MSI, Summer, and then lost in the finals for like the perfect run. But there was I think Samsung White when Samsung White and Samsung Blue were playing in 2014.
Sure.
They were a team that was incredibly hyped, and they pulled it off. So it was like, okay, that's the other one there.
Okay, game's more advanced now. Teams are better.
Well, I mean, you can't like 1v9 anymore realistically. It's just become a matter of like 5-on-5 team fighting is way more important than it was prior.
Exactly.
And now like. You want to talk about commanding? I mean, the teams that Korea's put out in the last 2 to 3 years, like at the top, maybe not across the league, and maybe they don't like. Maybe that's why they're discounted a little bit when you get to Worlds against China. But like, I mean, Damwon 2 years ago, like unbelievably commanding team, and now they've put out probably I would say in this era of league like the best 5-on-5 team that is out there. Like it's just best player of all time, surrounded by 4 players who are, some of the best in their roles that we've seen. Like
you mean at the moment?
Incredible.
Yeah. It is crazy that Faker's still this good. Like it's actually crazy.
I'm trying to
I mean that meme, the Master Splinter with the Ninja Turtles meme is so relevant. It's incredible. Like it's so well done. Like it makes so much sense for the situation. I love it.
Yeah, like this is it. So in 2017, Duke and Bengi left, and Huni and Peanut joined, and they won at spring. They had won Worlds, springs, and then MSI, but they did in summer. Actually, they faltered in 2017. So maybe you go for 2016 one with Duke and Bengi.
Is there any?
I mean, that finals was great. I think it's hard to compare eras because there's so much of it is impacted also by the meta at the time and how you're coming in, and obviously you can adapt to it and so on. I think this is definitely up there as one of the best league teams of all time.
Yeah,
it's playing up to be like we need to see them.
If they win MSI undefeated, I think it starts to bring a real conversation into it.
It really does, and then you come to summer. So long as they don't falter in summer, then you're really looking at spring. And like the problem with the 2017 team, because that was with Huni. I thought it was 2018. Huni played really well at Worlds. It was the rest of the team that kind of actually faltered a lot more around them. It was like Faker and Huni, I would say. I think Peanut did well. I'm trying to remember. I'm not your historian. Looking at a lot of these other matchups, just kind of as I'm looking at Saigon Buffalo, Saigon Buffalo, G2's 1.2, who cares? RNG, it's 1.5. T1, it's 1.01. So again, who gives a shit? G2, EG. You can get EG at 3.45 and G2 at 1.31. Now, I would actually take that because I do think there is a chance, like, you can, it's like that famous line, nobody beats EG 5 times in a row. So it's the famous line from Plato that Chris loves. He's got it tattooed on his chest.
Wise man.
Across, like in the big curse of writing, he's like, it's really hard to beat the same team twice. But what he failed to account for was that actually it's not. That's only if you think of it as 2 times. But if it's 2 times 2, it's easier. Because it's like a negative plus a positive makes it a positive. So 2 negatives makes a positive.
I think Sir Isaac Newton said that.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, that's why he is the best.
It was actually Robespierre.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there.
Sure.
1, I think the biggest threat to T1 winning this entire thing is actually G2.
I actually would agree with that.
I have actually decided on this now. I think G2 is the second best team at this tournament right now.
Okay.
Second, EG beats RNG at some point during this group stage.
Wait,
7.9 odds, I'm loving.
You came to G2 being the second best team after watching them beat EG in order?
Well, I mean, it's not like they decided that they were just going to, play against order over and over again. Like, they have to beat them. I don't know what you want me to...
No, they did.
You want me to say about this?
They did have to.
Okay, but like, what's crazy about RNG's group? I mean, really.
No, there's nothing crazy about any group.
Exactly.
So bringing us back on track.
But you're
here.
just like, oh my god,
RNG versus G2. So RNG versus G2.
Yeah.
1.478 on RNG, 2.7 on G2. I think
you have to take G2. You have to take G2.
I think those are great odds. And I do think G2 is playing at a level to kind of back up Scoot's point, because I actually thought about this before the podcast because I tried to prepare for our listeners. Scoot's like, this just occurred to me now.
But have I ever been wrong?
He was distracted.
How dare you defame this man?
I think G2 and RNG are, like, I'm saying the odds are there, but I also think G2 is good enough to beat RNG. I think they're playing at that level. And if RNG or G2 are not the second best team, who is?
Well, one of those 2 teams isn't making it past
and they're not going to make it because the other team is going to beat them so many times.
Not preparing. There you go, right there. Oh, RNG G2 not making it. I promise you.
RNG T1. Would you take RNG T1? RNG at 2.6 over T1's 1.5.
No. That's not the team that's going to beat them.
No.
What about G2 at 4.3 over T1?
I think we better
way better odds, but I won't bet against T1 ever.
Yes, you will. I can convince you right here.
Are you?
EG over T1 at 10.5.
I'm not in for that. That's not going to happen.
10.5? Where'd you get that?
T1 versus EG.
Oh,
know
yeah,
you're
no,
looking
I
at
don't,
this.
I'm not taking that. No, that's, sorry, I thought you said G2. I just had a G, and I got excited. So basically, I envisage T1 going perfect. I would say I think G2 probably comes out in second place with wins against RNG and everyone else. Maybe dropping 1 to RNG, 1 to EG is what I would say. I think it's then we have, as a result of that, we have RNG coming third with losses to T1, 1 to EG, sorry, to G2. I think potentially 1 to Saigon Buffaloes, EG, something like that. So just drop some one game below G2. And then it's Saigon Buffaloes or EG, whoever can cause the most upsets, basically. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards Saigon Buffaloes. So I would be betting them more than I'd be betting EG at this point in time.
Let's go Saigon
that's a fair
Buffaloes. That's
stance.
my team.
Yeah.
Dibs on those guys.
I just want to say, I get
What do you wanna
defamed on
fucking
this
say?
podcast, and there's a lot of things thrown around about, oh, he doesn't prepare, all these things. Let's go back to track record a little bit. G2 3-0 against Fnatic and then winning the fight. I don't remember who said that. I also don't remember who said that if EG 3-0s, then they'll also win the fight. I can't remember.
Okay.
All
right. Unless you have a point, I'm wrapping this up because we're at 36 minutes and BMB wanted to wrap that.
No, I do actually have one more interesting line.
Go.
Group A, Group B, Group C, there is a winner group category on the book that we're looking at where you can pick what group will win the tournament overall. And I think it is very interesting that Group C has 10.38 odds with probably, the only group to come out with 2 possible winners, even though EG doesn't really look like one. And we're considering G2 the second best as well. So, just wanted to throw that out there. It's a little interesting.
That is
T1 not to lose a map is also
that is
down
actually
to
a great
7.2.
That is a great bet. Basically taking Group C. I love that. It is woefully underappreciating how much how good G2 is.
I will say, so one thing I will add to this is that whilst I think G2 has been playing better than RNG, I don't think G2 can beat T1 in finals. Whereas I think if RNG reaches finals, I think they're the team with the best odds of beating
Because they have the
T1.
ping, the artificial ping.
No, I think they're just playing really well. I think they
It's
have
like
really good
AstroTurf.
players and stuff like that. They are.
I'm going to take...
Was it Gala? I'm trying to remember all the players' names. Let's find them.
Chris,
I
for all
think
your
they
comments
have
about
Look, we're in
it's
Korea.
Jahu and Gala. Jahu and Gala have been playing really, really well, I think.
Guess what? We're in Korea. There are 2 teams in this whole thing that don't have any Korean players. 3 teams. 3 teams that don't have any Korean players.
PSG,
Red
Canids,
RNG,
Saigon Buffaloes.
RNG,
Yeah.
G2
Oh,
Esports.
G2. Yeah.
One of those 3 teams won't make it.
It's going to be rough. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
just added a team
I
to the
apologize for my co-hosts' inane gatherings, but I hope you enjoy at least the entertainment factor of listening, tuning into this
gonna be
hot mess of
interesting.
a podcast. It's a hot, sexy mess, which you can see on
Just like
YouTube
G2. Or no,
at
G2.
Best
Just like
3
Riot.
Network.
Just like Riot.
Make sure you subscribe and follow
Hot,
us.
sexy mess.
If you're able to support Riot, hey, why not support us? It's one mess after the other. I think we're a young Riot. We're young, up and coming Riot.
Fuck Riot, big up the best of 3 network.
Please follow us on Twitter at Best of 3 Network. You can find a link to the Discord in the pinned tweet. As we've always been saying, I'm sure most of you now are watching us on YouTube, so please like and subscribe. It is very helpful to us, to our algorithm as we're growing, etc., etc.
We are growing.
Hit that
We are
fucking
growing.
bell too. Turn those
We
noties
are.
on. You know that.
We are growing, that's for sure. Hit the
Slightly.
bell so you get the latest news. If you like Call of Duty, check out our sister podcast, The Money Hill. CDL has kicked off a new major qualifiers, so we're in the midst of that. And I think that's about it. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Toodaloo.
Peace.